parents, my ex has 3 Teslas. He's getting my daughter a new car for like when she turns 16. Like they all have their own bathroom and like it's like, come on. Like who cares? Like what you grew up middle class, are you trying to like beat out your parents? It's not like kids don't need that. But guess what? I have the connections to college. I do. And I have all of that like intellectual knowledge for the kids. So that's kind of we have a lot of fun just being us. And if my son and I take a walk together with my dogs and he holds my hand, oh my God. It's like just joy. And I don't need to like take him to some like crazy fun, like I don't feel the need, like a amusement type place, like a trampoline gazanga place. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think it is very hard for kids who have parents who are divorced to kind of like figure out both. And they love both parents. But, at one side, they have a parent with a lot of money. And then the other side, they have a parent who's pretty strict. That's me. I'm pretty strict. I don't go to Costco and get like a ton of chips and cookies and blah, blah, blah. Like, we go to the farmer's market in the summer and I get them a smoothie, and that is a treat. And so, yeah, it's just life is always a journey. And so, Tanya, like, you always can change. You just change. You just do. You get older, you change. You hopefully change for the better, not be more grumpy. And you just do it like love you. That's love your kids. Like try new things. And as I have said a few times, I feel like just continue to be curious about yourself and your abilities. Because Tanya, look at you. You started this whole amazing chain of products for your skincare. And Michelle, you're trying to start like this like amazing center for kids because that's passion to you. And Paulette and Annie both have had wonderful multiple books come out and been part of this community that has shown real live voices. And that's what we need to teach our children, like just say what you want to say.
So I'm going to ask you a quick question, Joni. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, here we go. How do you try to explain to children, and having been that mediator, as I said, where you're the one that's trying to get them ready for school Monday to Friday, trying to get the school bags done, trying to get all of that organized, right? And the homework done, and the this, that, and the other. And then they go and play at dad's at the weekend and have a fun time. And like, well, dad's the fun one and you're the strict one, you're the, whatever. The thing
Yeah.
that I was just going to say, when you're about comparison, there's a comparison in your own house. Forget outside comparisons. You've got comparisons in your own home. And what I would say is, you're the mom that's going to get me into college. I'm the mom that's going to take you where you need to go for your future. I'm the mum that's going to help you become who you need to be and who you want to be. Okay. Dad can chuck money at it. Yes, I know that. But that isn't the answer. Money isn't always the answer. Money cannot buy you happiness. It can buy you Teslas, but it can't buy you happiness. Okay. And so for me, That's what I would say to them. If I had your children come to me, that's what I would say to them. I would say, you've got a mum who is loving you through the hardest part of the week. What
Yeah.
would you say?
I think I honestly, I don't try to overwhelm my kids because they're kids with like emotions, even though sometimes like they definitely have seen me cry and stuff, but I try to be pretty straightforward in my expectations with them and not really delve into a lot of stuff with like dad and mom. And so I really hope that they'll see that I got them that interview at University of Pennsylvania and Berkeley. That's my oldest daughter. She's very smart as weird. And my daughter, she got into an amazing program at Cambridge, my middle daughter for comedy writing. My ex won't pay for it, even though it pays for everything else. So we'll see about that. And then my son, he's like a ball boy for like kind of minor league soccer teams. And I got them into all that. And they are such good kids and they are loved by me. They know they are loved by me no matter what happens in a family court or whatever. Like I put in the work. I named them all. Hell yeah, I did. But yeah, I think really like showing up and like, you know, when my
So
son's like,
I'm not gonna get into the detail and custody battles and whatever, but normally whenever there is a custody battle, there has to
"It's
be
okay,
a
honey."
element of there has to be a problem on one side, right? Is it okay to talk?
Yeah, it's okay to talk.
Okay.
It's like yeah, I have the
So
photographer.
you, I'm just saying, photographers, yeah, go away, photographers. What I'm
Nah,
trying to say is that normally there's a reason for a custody battle, and it's not just being pig-headed or difficult or whatever. It's they try to find a
it's
reason. When they
money.
That's exactly what I was about to say in this circumstance. It's, I've got money, I want to buy my children. And
Yeah,
that is the
yeah.
truth. And I would say to you, money doesn't buy love. Okay? And what
No,
you are doing is you are loving them in equal
yeah,
proportion, if not more, to the amount of money. So just
yeah.
keep that always in your mind, okay? The
I do try to
comparison
use
is
that. Send me the
okay. I
heart.
really want you to. I want you to think about me nagging you and shouting at you. Comparison, love,
I
in the
do.
bucket
I
load.
hear your voice in my head a lot. That does not mean I'm schizophrenic, but I'm like, okay,
But
Paula
it's
says
true,
I'm
right?
doing good. I'm doing good.
You're
And
doing
I
good. You are
honestly,
doing good.
like, sometimes like a box of spaghetti and like a glass jar, that's okay. That's okay for dinner. You know, cornflakes and some strawberries are okay for breakfast. Like, you don't need to do everything. And, my old truck that I drive them around in, like, they love it. Well, not my oldest. My oldest is a little embarrassed about that, but,
Is that the one you got the
just,
Honda for?
oh, yeah, yeah. But she wants the Tesla her dad got her. So I'm just like, okay, okay. Like this sweatshirt would embarrass her she's like, why are you so weird, mom? Why are you wearing a Stranger Things sweatshirt? I'm like, okay, you know what? You're gonna have to dial it down. But they're kids and they each have such unique personalities. All of our children have unique personalities, and you have to kind of hold to your
Cater
own
to them all.
values. Yes, hold to your own values and then you know, really treat them as individuals. Like they're not a herd. You didn't just push out a herd of cattle.
I
So,
think you're doing amazing. And like I said, for all of the Teslas, right, there's a pot of love. All right. And this has got so much more value. All right. Imagine gold against paper. That's the difference. Okay.
Can I just
In your
say,
head.
Joni, that
Please do.
you know, children, they're not stupid, okay? And the stuff you're doing is what builds relationships. It's the relationships that you build. You have these children, you don't really know who they are, and you get to know them as you grow up with them, and all those things you're doing, you're modeling great parenting. The way you're feeding them, the way you're feeding them good food, not junk. You're modeling being a fabulous parent, and a responsible parent. And even though they might have fun dad at the weekend, they're not silly. The relationship that you're building with them, the times when you're making sure they get up on time, they've got stuff ready, you're building foundations in these children that are going to hold them in life. And you know what, that is what they're going to remember. They're seeing it already. It's all going in. They're processing it. Yeah, they might have fun dad at the weekend, but you know what's going to happen when they need someone? They're going to want to turn to you because you put the work in for the relationship.
yeah. Thank you.
They're building
Can I
blocks.
just say something? Can I just say something? Johnny, you're doing supremely well. Money is commoditized. Money goes and comes. Life happens. You never forget who treated you well. Tanya, thank you, and Paulette. I mean, I really wish. Again, I always tell Eddie, I wish I had £1,000,000 this evening. I'll just send 500,000 to Johnny, and I sent 250 to Tanya and Paulette each. What you just said is spot on. What builds a human being is more than cash. You can buy a home, sorry, you can buy a house. It is emotional capital that turns it into a home. You can have a bed, but you may not be able to sleep. You can buy books for children, but you may not be able to buy insights. That's why there are a lot of rich, foolish people.
I
And I'm
mean,
sorry.
David, can I just say, if you got that memory foam topper and you got really good quality sheets, oh, you can sleep anywhere. It's
but
amazing.
wait, but wait until you meet very, very, very unrestful billionaires. They got all the beautiful shit, but there's no peace of mind. The human soul cannot be legislated. What you are doing as a mother, I miss my mom today. Why do I miss her? She just has a way. Even when she shouts at me, African mothers generally shout a lot, and they are tougher. But despite the shouts, I prefer her being around. My dad is alive, and I love him too, and I talk to him all the time. But if it was my mom, if it was to be reversed, I would have been doing more talking to my mom. Now, they both love me. I'm a firstborn. They both are caring and good people. But the touch of a mother is far different. Don't ever for once think that your children, the intelligence of a child is very intuitive. There are children that never met their mother or fathers, and then 25 years later, they're asking the party who tried to misdirect they just ask you, excuse me, where's my dad or where's my mom? Didn't you do this to him or her? And then you're wondering, how did you know that? There's a lot of intuition going on, and the kindness of a soul to another soul cannot be reversed. If animals, dogs know you were kind to them, talk less of children. The cognition system is things that human beings recognize. The biological kingdom has internal circuits. Love is a transmitted virtue at a depth. Money and all of those ephemeral things will wear off eventually. And as they grow again in life, there are going to be times when they need down outright care. They're going to look at you. If all this relationship between them and their dad theoretically is a big car, big house, I support you with this, it will get to a time where real life happens. And I know who to go to when real life really, really happens. I know who's going to give me the counsel. So the bigger point that Paulette and Tanya made, I line up with that. I'll just add one more thought of mine. It's the hard way, the only way. We have to deal and teach our children these value systems, so that they are going to be grounded when they meet materialism in town and they meet other worldviews in town. And our children, we are writing a letter to the future that we may not see. They are our letter. We are shaping the next generation. We're shaping the society of the future. And
And
we must write,
David,
yes,
don't you think that, okay, so technology is here to stay. So we can't help it. It's going to enhance their lives in some ways and,
yeah,
ruin it a little bit. But
yeah,
getting your kids to read a book and go outside, I don't care how old they are, and be
yeah,
respectful to their elders is so important to me.
absolutely.
And that is something that I think that all children should be taught. It's
Absolutely.
very important.
Absolutely. And you know, the child knows who imbibed those values and who helped them capitalize on those virtues. So those things are far more important than anything else. I mean, the confidence to write was given to me by my mom and my late grandfather. And I don't forget it. And maybe if there's any regret I had today is that they are not around to see me launch the book or any of those days, how both of them will have felt. I just console myself that they are in heaven. But the bigger point is that those virtues are far more important. Even comparison, when a child comes and says, "Mom or Dad, my shoe is not as good as Paulette's shoe in school," how do we respond? What do we tell them? Things like you mentioned, hate, and racism the other time. All of those things are taught. The environment teaches us, and we, the adults, must frame society. We must, otherwise, the way things are going now, if we all keep going on materialism, the time is going to come where people are going to think it's okay to sell another human being, that it's okay to trample on people because you are richer. And the foundations upon which civil society is based, anyway, is morality and just and right thinking, at least at the basic level. Beyond a certain level, we may get work, but at the basic level, we cannot outsource these things. And well done, Joanne. You're doing a very good job. I add my vote to
That's so
Paulette
sweet.
and Taya.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So you know what?
100%.
It's just like you also can't put down your kids for wanting to play video games with their friends or go on social
No,
media because that's their generation.
normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. And so you also have to like adapt to that. And
Look,
that's
when
What
we
how
were
you do
we
kids,
is you
our
have a
parents were,
balance, Joni.
sorry.
A balance. Everything in balance.
And when we were kids, our
Everything
parents were
in
going,
balance.
"Don't watch TV," and that was the thing. That was our generation, So now we've got the social media thing. It's just the generation thing. I just wanted to add one more thing, which
girl,
is
I watched so much TV, it was nuts. I know every TV show out there.
exactly. We watch TV all the time, and they wanted us to go outside. I just want to add one more thing. We had a really interesting conversation with our son the other day, who said, so they went to a private primary school, and he said, "Oh my gosh!" Of course, he's 17 now. Going to be doing driving lessons and all that. So cars, that's all we talk about. He said, "Do you know what? For years and years and years, I thought a Range Rover was a really common, cheap car." And I was like, "Why?" He said, "Because everyone had one at school." So he said, he thought, "Why on earth, Ross? That's a cheapo car." And anyway, it was just hilarious. So he, they were at a private school, and then we were talking about we were talking about really how he's observed how wealthy people live their life very differently to people that maybe don't have as much. And he said, and it's not a money thing, Mum. It's not a money thing. It's a standards thing. So it's a wealth mindset. So he was talking about a wealth mindset. He said, you don't have to have money to appear successful. It's the way you groom yourself. So it's not about having the latest fashion. it's about grooming, it's about keeping your car clean, your house really on point. And these are observations he's made. And he said, and he said, people that, so we talk about state school children, that they spend so much money on designer labels. And he said, that just never happens in a private school. It's like, you know, that was not a thing. No one really cared about what labels. You didn't know, no one had labels. It was like, and I said, well, yes, that's because you've got a different mindset. You're investing in different things. One, you're investing in an education. Two, you're investing in yourself. You eat well. You look after your body. You know, you spend money on things that are investments. And that's generally what, you know, there's a big divide. So what I'm trying to say to you, Joni, it's not a money thing. It's the way you're doing it. That's the thing. That is actually good. So don't ever think, you don't have to be wealthy to have a wealth mindset. You can have a foundation just like that right now with what you have.
You're like, clean your dirty feet. Just clean them. I don't need any Walmart feet walking around this house. All right?
Yeah. And that's the thing that makes you feel good when you're, you know, when everything is run and ordered well, you have pride in the way you are. It's really not about the labels. It's really not about the money. It's the way you.
I wanted a Jeep Wrangler like nobody's biz when I was 16, and no, did I get a card? No, I did not. And then they did, or I think they got a card from like my grandma that was like an old like Toyota Corolla. It was old. And then my best friend, she had a car from her grandma. It was a Cadillac. And it was just the funniest thing because we parked next to each other at school because it was just Range Rover, Range Rover, Range Rover, Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Wrangler. And we were like, we're going to let our oil leaking cars out here in the corner. And guess who were the two coolest girls in school? I mean, us bitches. So anyways, you just have to have that mindset, which you're so right. And yeah, I hope I'm doing that for my kids.
I think you're doing a great job. I think you're modeling a great job because what I can hear is the relationship that they have with your ex-husband it's a transactional love of money, and children work that out. Love isn't transactional. You know, there's a foundation to it, and buying children is transactional.
100%. And also, you know, that living abundantly isn't a great way for modeling anything. So if you do anything in an abundant way, so that you're doing it to excess, you are going to cause an imbalance. And that imbalance could be mentally, it could be physically, it could be a directional thing within the personality. So you become, I want more. Yeah. So you can create a greedy person, you can create an unpleasant person, you can create somebody who only seeks friendships with people of the right stature, the same level of monetary wealth as them. They will see themselves in a very different way, and that is ugly. And I'm saying it here and now. That is ugly, and nobody wants that. What we want are people who are going out into society with a strong moral compass, somebody who has a good understanding of what is right and what is wrong, and somebody who is going to stand by and support a friend and not walk away when there's a problem, and somebody who is going to be able to understand that when the poo hits the fan, okay, who do I call? Who do I go to? Who's going to give me the advice I need? And that insight is going to be the parent that's always been there, always been in their corner, always been their support system, always been the one who directs them in the right way. And Joni, that's who you are. And that's, I mean, we're using you as an example, but honestly, believe me, you are one of a million that this is happening to.
it's really a nut situation. But if they get in jail, they might call their dad. He has more money, bail them out.
Yeah, but if they went to jail, you haven't done a good job, and you know
That's
that, and I know that isn't going to
joking.
happen.
No,
Because you
no,
have
I
done a good job, I know you're doing your humor thing, but joking aside, yeah, that's about the only time they need to call him, right?
well,
Or if they
you
need a
are doing a
solicitor.
really good job as a wife, and I know Tanya is doing a really good job as a wife.
You have to ask Dave.
And well, I think there's another answer there as well. I'm sure that you did a really good job as a wife too, but when you're married to a narcissist, it would be very difficult to be married to someone like that.
That's an impossible win. You can't win
It's
that
a
one.
one-sided marriage, because I'll
Can't
tell
win
you
that one.
now, the
Yeah, he
person
didn't
they were in
even
love
like
with was
anything in the
themselves.
bedroom. So,
But in all seriousness, you wouldn't have enough mirrors in the house for him, because, and he'd spend longer getting ready than you would, because that's the kind of characters we're
absolutely,
talking about.
custom suits, custom shoes, mirrors like over the bed. Oh my gosh!
Exactly.
So
we're talking about making sure. Did he ever ask to get the right? So he got the right light on him. Just take a picture of me in this light. I can just imagine it. But
he would do that. He would do that, and I was like pretty sure he was, not into me. But I plan a dinner party, have friends over. I clean up the whole thing, and then he would make fun of me because he'd be like, "Oh, Joni thinks she reads, but she actually uses Audible." And I was like, "What? Like, why is that a thing? Why would you say that? Like, is it you trying to embarrass me that I don't read? Because you don't read." But it's just like those little like mean things, digs that you're just like, please, come on. I mean, like that.
I'll
It's
tell
just
you,
not.
very, very. Have you heard of the 3 Degrees? Has anyone heard of a group called the 3 Degrees? Right. Okay. So they were a bunch of amazing. But I think there were the 3 black women, and they were just amazing singers. They had soulful voices, but they sung. The harmonies were amazing, and the 3 Degrees are amazing, amazing band. Anyway, I was at a dinner party, and there's a long story as to why I never went to university. And I had places to do law, I had places to do all kinds of things. But the course that I wanted to do was trade unionism law, which is a very unusual degree. But it was to do with mediation, and it was to do with the psychology. And because psychology was something I majored in and wanted to really focus on. And when they said, well, you can do straight law, and then after you finish your law degree, you could do. And I was like, no, I really wanted it. Anyway, then the argument started about which parent was going to help pay for the university fees. And it was like, okay, do you know what? Forget it. I'll make my own way, right? And the headmaster at the school had a friend who was looking for someone called a Girl Friday. So it's a person Friday now, we call them. But basically an assistant that can do everything and do anything and learn from scratch. And I started that job and I was 17 because I did my A-levels a year early. I had great results, and yes, I could have gone to one of many universities, but life didn't work out the way that perhaps people might think. And I've subsequently gone and got qualifications that far exceed the degree now, but that is by the by. It was at the time, it was the big thing. Now, why do I mention it? It's because it's really interesting. We ran a dinner party, some friends of Charles, and I'd not met them, any of them before, except one couple. And this particular lady didn't really take to me, and I don't know what I did to upset her, but she didn't take to me. And I think it was because I'd stolen Charles, because her husband worked away in America probably 8 months of the year and would come home for like a long weekend here and there. So whenever there was events or anything else going on, or she wanted to go to the cinema or go out for Chinese, Charles was single. She used to sort of call him in to be the surrogate partner. Then I came along and he wasn't available. So I think that's what it all stems from. But the story is this. We were sitting around this huge dinner table with about 12 people, and they were all asking, they were talking about where they went to university and, you know, what they'd done. And Charles went to Cambridge, right? So, you know, that's quite a big deal. And he's a super smart lad. And the guy that his best friend, Harvey, he equally went because they lived together at university and they were good friends. And Sam is Harvey's wife. That's a girl who hated me because, as I said, I stole her mate. Well, this is the thing that was really weird, was we were sitting on the dinner table and she was and I don't even know how they wanted to get it on. Talk about comparison. She got it on the topic of how many degrees have you got and what degrees have you got and whatever. And then someone said to Sam, oh, how many degrees have you got, Sam? And she said, oh, I've got 3 degrees, like that, you see. And then she said, Paulette. And it was just that switch, you know, that moment. It was like it had been planned somehow. How many degrees have you got? She said, I said, well, what did you say you've got? She said, I've got 3 degrees. I said, yeah, I've got 3 degrees. I said, I think I've got them on both CD and vinyl. And at that point, the room burst out laughing. The whole room cracked up with laughter. Her face was as puce red as you could imagine. She got up from the table, she walked off, and she went and was crying. I'd upset her. How had I upset her? When what she was trying to do was belittle me in every which way that was possible in front of 11 people who I'd never met before. 10 people I'd never met before. And why would you do that to someone, right? Talk about comparison. Now, that is pure evilness. That is pure nastiness. Now, that does come out in people. Now, why did that come out? Something had gone on. And I was thinking it's got to be before Charles for it to be that mean. And Charles said to me, she didn't have a very good home life. She was really this, that, and the other. And, you know, the reason she kept being at university because she didn't want to be at home. So she kept doing more and more studying, more degrees, more degrees. So when Sam went off, everyone expected Harvey, her husband, to follow, but he didn't. We all still sat on the table. After the laughter died down, she'd got up and was crying. He turned around and said, you see this lady opposite us talking about me, the one that doesn't have a degree? He said, just so you all know, she earns more than the rest of us around this table put together. So who's got the last laugh? And everyone went silence, right? And then he got up and went off to see to his wife. And I was thinking, I want to just leave. Please, can we leave? This is too awkward. You know, it was the millennium. We were supposed to be going into London to watch the fireworks. I was just like, every piece of me said, get out. Just get out. I don't want to be here. I don't have to be here. I've got real nice friends that would love to spend the evening with me. I don't have to be here with your friends because they're not nice people. And Charles was like, I'm so sorry. I said, like, I want to leave. He's like, well, we're going into London in like a few minutes. So just chill. We'll have our dessert. A dessert was coming. And then we were going to leave. And then I got up and went to the bathroom. And as I went to the bathroom, I saw Harvey and Sam going in the kitchen. And I thought, oh, dear, dear. So I carried on into the cloakroom, went to the toilet. And then when I came out, I thought, I'm going to be really, really brave. And I went up and I banged on the door to the kitchen. It was open, ajar, but I just wanted to be polite. And I said, I'm really sorry if my joke was wrongly placed, but I felt attacked. And when I feel attacked, I come out with humor. It's one of my mechanisms for dealing with people like yourself. So I know you don't like me. Well, the feeling's mutual, but let's just get through this night and then we never need to see each other again. How do you feel about that as a solution? And she looked at me and she said, I don't hate you. I said, well, you certainly don't like me because you wouldn't have spoken to me like that in there for the laugh. And when it came back at you, you didn't like it. And she looked at me and she said, let's just get through the night. So I went back to the table, and Charles was like, do you want to leave? Do you want to? I said, no, it's fine. We'll get through it somehow. And literally, the minute we got into London off the train, we just went off. Oh, we lost them. Oh dear, whoopsies. And we went off on our own. We went down to find a different spot to watch the lights. And the Millennium was a huge, big thing in London. And this is where comparison becomes evil. And that was meant to hurt. And I'm an adult. And I've been through enough to accept that, you know, my way of dealing with some things normally is humor. I try to bring humor into everything because it takes the sting out of stuff. But that kind of pain, that really hurts, right? Deep down, it hurts. Because I was asking myself, what route would I have taken had I have gone to university? What route? I was asking myself all these questions. Where could I be now? Could I be a judge? Could I be, because I would have gone all the way. I know I would have gone all the way. And this is how I'm and this is all going on in my head, this narrative, whilst I'm out with Charles. And then later on, he said to me, what on earth was going on with you? You were so quiet. And of course, my quiet is because I'm so busy in my head. And I said to him, I was asking myself what could have been if I had gone to university. What if? And you know what he said? We'd never have met.
Oh,
And that was all it took. We'd never have met.
that's
And
really
I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to go. I'm really glad I didn't go to university. I found you and we found you. It was perfect. The only thing that needed to be said, right? Doesn't it just show you about love?
Your life as what it should
You know, that is
everything that's
when you
meant to
realize
happen.
it.
Everything that's meant to happen is meant to happen. We have to take from
Yes.
it what we learn, and if we don't like that bit, choose something different. And we choose that. We
Absolutely.
create that. But there are things that happen that are meant to happen. I really believe, even if they're bad things. But we choose. We take the lesson from it, and then we don't need it anymore. And then we create the preferred outcome of how we want it to be.
Absolutely. And that's what we teach our kids. That's how we teach our children.
Our time is going. You probably got another 5 minutes before I have to turn.
Right. Let's hear from Michael. Sorry.
Go back to your side room. Get out.
I think we've lost Michael, so we need to hear from Luz.
Luz,
Deborah,
sorry, I thought Michael was there.
Deborah, welcome.
Hello. Hi, Deborah.
So Sharon, we see
we have lost. Well. What happened to Miss Ramos? Did we lose her?
Yeah.
Hi, Sharon. Okay.
Yes. So hopefully she's all right. Let's hear from Luz, and then we can work on possibly going sometime today. My next room starts too soon. So how are you doing, Luz?
Well, I'm doing well. Thank you, Annie and everyone. I will introduce myself. I'm Loes Pijpers from the Netherlands. And I want to thank Joni, Paulette, and Tanya for your great shares. And Joni, you're doing fantastic, really. I think our children are very important for the future because they are the next generations, and educating them is very important. And keep on educating ourselves. That's important too. On the 27th of April, it's International World Earth Day, and it's about safeguarding our legacy from the earth for the next generation, because everything we do here, we buy stuff, and our behavior and everything we do can influence our earth for the next generation. So that's very important. And every day we learn. Not only our children are learning, we learn from our children, but life is a journey, and every day we learn from ourselves. And mistakes that we are made, mistakes, we learn from them. We fall and get up again, and failure is not fatal. So life is a journey, and the journey itself, it's important, and we learn from it, not only the goal and where we heading. My opinion is, we talked about money and that sort of things, but money is useful to buy things, and we can live in our houses and buy clothes and food, but happiness is in our head. And even if you have less money, you can be happy too. Because what I learned in the past, when I was young and born, we lived with six people, my mom and dad, and three siblings, in not a big house, but we were happy, and we played outside, we go swimming, so we made it cozy, and did it with things we had, and that teach me that be happy with the small things in life, because you can dream big, but you have to make it pleasant and happy for yourself, for others, and you can do that by yourself. And not everybody is perfect, and not every day is a successful day. We are all having struggles, and sometimes a bad day that makes us human. But if we can visualize a picture of the future that is better than today, and have a positive mindset, it can make us happy. And it's not about money or things we buy, but the contacts with people. And everybody has his own story, and I'm grateful to meet people, and I can have conversations with them and share positivity, learn from each other. That can make us happy. Everybody has his own story, and when I hear how they do it in Africa, or with providing their own food and clean water to drink, we can all learn from each other. And I'm not taking every day for granted. Every day is a gift. So I'm very grateful to be here. And my positive mindset is very important, because little things can make us happy. And when we look at things in a positive way, we can create happiness in our mind. I'm always positive and looking for opportunities and possibilities. And if we can give each other credit, and make others greater than you are, you can all work together and join hands to do that. So thank you very much.
Lou,
That was
is that
beautifully said.
guy? Oh, sorry. I just want to
No,
tell
go on,
Luz,
Joe.
uh, girl, dogs can have a bad day too. I know this. Dogs can also have a bad day,
Yes.
and they can feel really down, and just lick their bum a lot. It's not great. But I cut off 5 sprigs of this willow tree because I got a lot of water on the side of my yard, and let them kind of root in little cups under my grow light. And I am planting them all today for Earth Day. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
I didn't spend any money, but I am doing something.
Yes, that's great. And watching our pets, dogs or cats, or makes us happy, because if if you can see, they are running in the yard or being happy, and dogs and pets love us unconditionally, I think, always, and that give happiness
And
also.
didn't you tell me one time they a lot of people there have bunnies?
I have a bunny, and I adopted an elephant recently.
Wait, what? Where is this elephant? Is
Well,
this also at your house?
no, I wish I could have them in the backyard, but a lot of elephants are in the circus and all around the world, and they have to make tricks and entertain people, and that's not natural. So at the World Animal Organization, you for €7 a month, you can adopt an elephant, and they put them in nature with their mother. In my case,
Where in
and
like
they are happy. And
Thailand?
uh, yes, in all the world, and they are in nature with their mother, and now they are happy. And they provide your elephant with food, and they don't have to be in the circus anymore. So I want to
Well, they
save
took
all the
all
animals.
elephants out of the circus here in
Yes,
the States and out of zoos, so you can't see elephants. But
yes,
I would like an elephant in my backyard. That sounds fantastic. And
yeah.
I'm
We
gonna
have a
look into this.
tiger.
You just send me the link. I know I'm being silly. All right, I'm gonna let.
No, no.
Oh, I wish
Ben
I
has a
could have them in
tiger.
back.
Yeah, Luz, Ben has a
Yeah.
tiger, and when he told
Wow.
somebody in school that he had a tiger, I was like, "No, you don't, darling. We just contribute towards a tiger's life. We just help a tiger." And it was
Not
like,
like the
"We
Tiger
don't have a
King.
tiger?"
The
Yeah,
Tiger
no,
King.
we don't really have a tiger. We just help a tiger live a better life, that's all. But they send you a little, when he got it was years ago, he just carry on. But it's just like a little tiger they sent you, and a picture of the tiger that is yours. And,
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I think anything you can do to help animals in the wild is in a natural habitat is wonderful. And if we can, we should.
Yes.
And it's one of those things that instead of having birthday gifts, instead of having stuff like that, this was a gift that Ben was given. Somebody
Oh,
adopted a tiger for him. And I would suggest, and I really don't know if you feel or how you feel about this, but when you get the details about the elephant out, do a post about it, because this is how I'll do one about Ben's tiger, because I think it's that kind of stuff that is a regular contribution. If they get, I think we only pay, I think it's £5 or something a month.
oh, yes.
So, £5 is probably the similar sort of price. Or it might be more. Maybe 10, I don't know, but something like that. But it's a regular amount of money that goes into that animal trust. That means they can look after the animals in the right habitat, in the right way, and give them a good life. And that was a good gift. And I believe that those are the sort of gifts that children
Yes.
will really
And
value.
and you
And
can't
that's
change the
important.
whole world. You can't change the whole world on your own, but you can make a small change in your
Make a
environment.
difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a way of teaching children about making a difference. I might not have a Rolex watch, but I've got a tiger that I'm helping in the
Yes.
outbacks of wherever. What's more important right now, right? So, put it to the child like that. I know which one the child will take. The tiger all day long. So,
Yeah.
to say you own a tiger.
I still keep in touch with my pen pal from Vietnam from when I was in middle school.
Well,
And
that's exactly perfect.
I mean, why don't we like get on that pen pal circuit? That's great. And Miles has a star named Mai Mai. And sometimes if it's clear night, we use our little what am I trying to say?
Telescope.
Telescope. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
And we look at it together, and it funds NASA projects. And so, that's such a good idea. And I want to hear about the elephant and tiger, how they came to be and how they are right now. I want to see updated pictures.
Exactly.
Oh, Joni, if you want, I can send you a video. As a thank me, they send me an update video from YouTube about the elephant. Now he's in the woods with his mother, and they are happy taking a mother bath and drinking water, can walk around. And if you see that video, well, my heart is overflowing with happiness. So I can, if you want, I can send you the video
Yes.
by LinkedIn in your DM.
Yeah, I'd love that. Or you can also put in the comments of this so other
Oh,
people.
yes, I will.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Image.
That's a good thing to do. Yeah. I am
Yeah, and
very much
back
an
to the
experience.
children thing. Back to the
Yep, back to the
comparison
children.
thing as well.
But animals are our children too.
That's a great way to show children, right? Love is by showing them how much you need to love the earth and what we need to do for the earth, just keep it as it is. So, you know, if you can try and find things like this, projects like these are so much more valuable than a new watch or a new pair of trainers. So, you know, just try and keep your mindset, keep the positivity, keep the mindset strong, and just try and expand the horizons of your kids and keep that comparison out as much as possible. On that note, Annie, I know you've got to go to another
I know,
show.
Annie.
Please tell us which one it is, Annie, and we'll all be following you.
Annie, don't you close your eyes and do you remember like when you were a kid? Do you remember like those material gifts? No. You remember like those trips you went on with your family or the like experiential stuff. It's so important. And so I know you came from the hard knocks, all right, bro? But like look at you now. You're doing well.
Can I say something really quick, you guys?
Of course.
I love everything you guys are saying. Joe, you're a beautiful mom. You are. What is going on with your ex-husband, I apologize for. Here's the thing, folks. We really need to break the chains. The adults when I was older that used to make fun of me, this is how it comes down from generations to generation, folks. And I'm going to be real with you right here. The parents that when I was younger that didn't want me around their kids and talked the way they did about me and my family around their kids are the same ones. These kids of theirs are the same ones that beat me senseless to where I am blind and deaf now. And what's sad is after it happened, and mind you, we're adults now, and then this just happened 7 years ago. One of them did commit suicide because of the issue. The other one has apologized to me, and she said, I was so angry at you because of everything I used to hear my parents say about your family. And then she realized it wasn't true. Here's the after effects, though, folks. I'm legally blind. I'm legally deaf. And we need to break these chains. We can't break it with money. Who can buy your kids the most expensive things? Because that's just going to get your kids drunk and hurt people like me. We need to start being honest with each other. And you need to start being honest with your kids. And it's okay to be unique and different, but it's not okay to be jealous and to be afraid of the unknown. So you want to get rid of the unknown and get rid of that problem, because you know what? I don't go away. I'm still here. And not only that, I'm healing my TBI with my neuro team and my doctors and Paulette and Nenny. And I do feel these are great rooms we are doing, but we really need to break the chain, because it's really hard when your own kids see you get beat. Mind you, my daughter was there and saw me beat in the head with a rock. I don't remember any of this. We do have a great, huge bill I paid for going to the hospital. But that sticks in my daughter's mind. And now she's afraid of people. So can you see how this just keeps rolling over into our next generation? So I challenge each and every one of us today. Let's break the chain. Let's break these chains. Who cares if people are unique? Who cares if they're different? It's not up for you to judge. And that it's up to you to raise your kids right, to raise beautiful human beings that are going to go to college, like Joe's doing. Beautiful human beings like Tanya, you own your own beauty care line. How beautiful is that? You're passing it on. I don't have anything like that to pass on except this legacy right here. And that's breaking these chains here. And we're going to do it. And I think this was a beautiful discussion today. And I just want to thank everyone for being here. And I know I just sit here and sometimes I look dumb just sitting here and everything. But you know what? I'm a parent that wants to learn what everyone else is doing. So maybe a piece of that I can grab and it might work out for me. And I think everyone should do that and quit being jealous or being scared of the unknown. Tanya's got a beautiful lotions and everything like that because she went out and did it. Joe's got an awesome, well, her dogs keeps having puppies, and then she's got her own construction company. Paulette is just a beautiful therapist, and she's helping everyone. And then you got the beautiful Annie, that's a wizard that hopefully one day will wear a tutu with a wand for us. And then you got Los that just comes on here, and Los, you make me feel so special because you're from a different country and you talk to me. So maybe I can't get to all of you guys right away, and that's okay. But because of our own stupidity in life and us never breaking those chains, I have a very hard time with my laptop, my phone, and my TV to go to these different sizes because unfortunately, I've been beat in the head so bad 7 years ago, and it wasn't the first time. This is my 7th. For no reason. And I keep coming back. So let's start thinking about that, everybody. And let's
We
start
have got to break the chains. Break
Yeah.
the chains. Stop
We
the
need to-
nastiness. Let's create
Yes.
wholesome, nice children. That's all we want. And
Yes.
that's all that everybody should want. Right?
And you don't have
There
to be
should be no need for anything
do
else.
Yeah, you don't have to be rich to raise your kids. You've
Oh,
got
no.
to have true love. You've
Heart.
got to have patience, and you've got to realize they're not exactly like you, nor should they be. Your biggest goal in life is to make them better than you, succeed better than you, not be like you. That's asinine. You should not have had a child then. You should have just bought a doll. You know? And I just want to thank everyone for being here and listening to all of us. And thank you. Right.
Thank you. No, it's been a really good room, and I hope lots of people have taken some little snippet from it that will have been some value. And as always, these rooms start off one way And oh gosh, Michael's just arrived back in the room. Annie, your decision. I know you need to go. What time's your next room?
I can't have you join and not say something.
Thank you.
What do you want to share with us on the topic, Michael?
Well, you guys have said a lot so far, and a whole lot. It all boils down to one thing: is character. Imbuing positive, lifelong character, going from yourself to your kings and queens. That is those that follow you, because that's all they got, and that's all they'll have of you when you leave this world. Is that character, which you embed in them, and that allows them to live and also do the same thing with their own kids from generation to generation. That's pretty much what I've got to say, because I believe that's how I'm just encompassing what you've all been talking about, and that's, to me, is what it boils down to. It's just transferring your character into those kids and children, and not just them, but everybody else who follows you and admires you and wants to be like you. They want to, so what they see of you is your character, and that's what they want to emulate and will emulate and pass on to their children. That's it.
What a lovely way to finish. Perfect. You summed it up beautifully, Michael, and thank you. That's just perfect. Just pass on the best bits of you and try, as we've all said, make room for them to grow, but make sure you give them direction. Support them. There's no need to bully them. There's no need to have comparison. All we need to do is just let them get in their own lane, doing their own thing, but with direction and support and love. Everybody works out. It's like people say kids should be out of their diapers by the time they're 2, right? And we've got a problem where children are going into kindergarten or nursery and they're 3.5 or 4 and they're still in their nappies. But you know what? By the time they get to school, they're all in their pants. Everybody changes. Everybody does things at their own pace. We can't make everybody be the same. Oh, everybody's got to be out of nappies by the time they're 18 months old. Never going to happen. Let's just be realistic and say everyone's different. Accept the differences. Be kind. Be nice. How hard is that? Be kind and be nice. Annie, over to you, my love.
I'm conflicted. So my next room is the what if room, and we're talking about a different kind of mindset, the visionary mindset. What is it? Do we need it? How do we get it? So do join us for that conversation. It's one that's important to me. Of course it is. I'm going to send you all the link, so if you can join us, it'd be great. If you want to join the stage, you're welcome. Do come and share. Have you had the visionary?
Can I have a wee first?
Of course.
Okay, and then I'll come.
See,
I've just got to go.
I'm more jarred that I've got a bestseller for William, but I haven't got. I can see the bestseller, but I haven't got the screenshot that I normally take on the hour. Anyway, let's forget about that. Let's play Paulette's video, and then we can leave on that, my friends. Do enjoy your day. Join us again in 2 weeks' time. Next week is the Michelle's Let's Talk Neurodivergence, and also the Mental Wellness Room on Monday, and the Michelle's Room on Tuesday, followed by Lisa's Room on Tuesday as well. So Paulette's a busy lady. Anyway, enjoy, my friends. If you haven't bought Jack and Walter's book series yet, please go and buy 1, or 2, or 3, or 4. Anyway, Paulette, I'll let you go. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
I wake up to the morning light, nervous butterflies in flight. First day at school, a brand new place. Jelly belly worries I can't erase. Mom says, be brave, but I'm not sure what's behind that classroom door. Walter whispers, stand up tall. You've got this, kid, just give it your all. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. I sit alone, hands in my coat, holding Walter's card like a secret note. Be brave, it says, and be strong too. But my tummy's all gray, no yellow or blue. Then a boy shows up with a grin so wide, says, hi, I'm Henry, can I sit by your side? Watch it crunch and we start to joke. That's the moment the ice finally broke. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. It's okay to feel a little small, like a basketball player afraid to fall. Walter said, put your smile in place. Courage can show on your happy face. And step by step, I start to see I'm not so alone with Henry and me. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. Now I've got Henry and Walter too. Turns out being brave brings something new. First days are tough, but I made it through. And maybe the buddy bench can work for you.